All right, thanks so much. It is such a pleasure to be here, so greetings. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you all showing up. As Sky said, we're here for a common purpose. I am honored to be here. I'm excited to be here. I'm honored to share the stage with the people that we're going to have later, and I'm excited to hear what they have to say and to see what comes out of this. So I want to start, as we're looking, I want to think about a journey through the Appalachians and what that looks like. Where we are in Chattanooga is, well, the image isn't working right. We're right here in the tri-state area of Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama. We're at the base of a mountain chain that extends throughout the east, far north, through Maine, into Canada. It's one of the world's oldest mountain chains. That's pretty amazing. It has rich soils, it has giant trees, it has ancient species. It has species that exist nowhere else on Earth except for right here in our backyard. The Appalachians are an area of extreme biodiversity, meaning there are an extraordinary number of plants and animals that call the place home. They've evolved over massive time spans to be there, to exist with each other, to create stable ecosystems. As we go and we think about the Appalachians, we have these grand vistas. We have intact forests that stretch thousands of miles. We have streams that turn into creeks, that turn into rivers as they go towards the sea. There are birds that live here year-round. There are birds that use it as a migratory flyway in their annual migrations between here, Central America, South America. There are ancient trees that are standing guard along our waterways, shading and cooling the waters, keeping pollutants out of the streams, keeping soil where it needs to be. It's an amazing landscape. It's so beautiful, it's awe-inspiring, it's majestic. As Sky said, it's probably the reason most of us are in this room right now. I know I came to Chattanooga for a weekend 25 years ago, and I'm still here. So it's easy to look at the landscape in these places that we frequent and our parks and so forth and think that everything's okay. If we look a little closer, the picture is a little darker. We'll see an impacted landscape. We'll see one that we have mined. We've taken the oil, gas, and coal out of. We've trucked away the rocks. We've taken it away in semi-trucks and trains. We see communities that are grappling with new realities. They're grappling with challenges. They're grappling with new economies. We'll see people that have eked a living from the landscape unable to do so anymore. We'll see forests that are racked by severe storms, that are impacted by pests and disease. The weather's a little different than it used to be. We have storms that are stronger. We have droughts that are longer. We have heat waves that are hotter. As Sky mentioned, I'm Joel Hauser. I'm with the Open Space Institute. I'm our Director of Capital Grants. Open Space Institute is a conservation organization with a simple mission. We protect land for people, for wildlife, forever. We operate where these things come together, where land, biodiversity, climate, water, where these things come together. We've worked in the Chattanooga region for the past 17 years very intentionally. This is a place where it all comes together. Now, we all know what conservation means, but I'll say it just so we're all on the same page. In my field, when we talk about conservation, we're talking about land protection, so keeping it from being developed and subdivided, land management, so keeping trees where they should be, in a manner that makes it so that future generations of people and wildlife can persist indefinitely. I've worked in land management and land conservation for the past 22 years, which is wild to think about. And if you count the time that I was in outdoor recreation before that and working outside, it's closer to 30. This is my life's work. There are three things that I've been really focused on for the past 10 years or so. Three crises that, if left unchecked, are going to upend things as we know it. We have collapsing communities. We have collapsing biodiversity, and we have climate change. These are three things that we have to address. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we got here. I'm going to talk a little bit about where we can go. Before we do that, I want to just take a moment and talk about a few basic truths. These are assumptions that I have that are borne out by science. Number one, nature's good. Nature, as it evolved, doesn't necessarily need us, but we absolutely need nature. We need nature to clean our air and clean our water, to protect us from flooding, to mitigate climate pressures. Number two, climate change is real. We've all experienced it, and we caused it. We caused it by burning fossil fuels. We've made it worse by the way we manage land. Number three, land conservation holds the keys to a lot of the solutions for these challenges and more. And finally, we're running out of time. We're not out of time yet, but we're running out of time to address these issues. Terry Tempest Williams once said of weather, "What used to be small talk is now survival." That couldn't better explain my kind of life experiences, and maybe yours too. Growing up in the 80s, we had storms, we had snowstorms, tornadoes, we had landslides, wildfires, all of those things, but it's just different now. The storms are stronger, droughts are longer, heat waves are hotter. We are breaking records all the time. Records are not meant to be broken the way we're breaking them, every month, every year, every decade. And my baseline is different than those who came just a little bit before me. One of the things I think about when we're in Chattanooga is how long people have been on this landscape. Depending on who you ask, they've been here 12,000 years, they've been here 14,000 years. If it's 14,000, then that's 500 generations of people that have been on this landscape. That's like amazing to think about, and that's wild to think about, 500 generations. Think about your life. Everything you've ever thought, everything you've done, everything you've tasted, touched, felt. Now add in your parents. Think about how different their descriptions of their childhood were. Think about your grandparents. Think about your great-grandparents. Things were so different. That's 4 generations. People have been here for 500. And why this is important is because the things that we're talking about, the environmental issues, have happened in an instant. The early days of the Industrial Revolution, 200 years ago, 7 generations. People have been here 500. And we're impacting things that have taken hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions of years to adapt where they are, how they are. Nature's pace is really slow. We're forcing it into very fast change. And we're feeling it. We're feeling it in our communities throughout the Appalachians. We're seeing people that are stressed. We're seeing communities racked by disinvestment and depopulation. We're seeing economies shift. We're seeing people having a hard time buying groceries, paying for rent. We're seeing all of this. It's happening. It's real. When we add in what we're going to see with climate change, that gets even worse. And this is Pineville, Kentucky, and this is taken from the vantage of Chain Rock, which is kind of a local legend of a rock that has a chain that's been there 100 years. And in the photo, it's hard to see, but there's a giant flood wall around town that's built up so that the Cumberland River can't swell out of its banks and wash the town away. It's an extreme example of infrastructure that is expensive, it's costly in other ways, not guaranteed. We're going to see more and more of this as we move forward, and we know there's a better way. We know that we can support nature to support us. We know that nature holds flood mitigation. It holds flooding at bay. It keeps water where it should be. We know that recreational opportunities give an opportunity for just economic transition. We know these things. Meanwhile, wildlife are having a hard time. We're in the middle of what scientists are calling the 6th mass extinction. That's not good. Think dinosaurs. And report after report comes to the same conclusion as to what's causing it. And it's us, it's me, it's you. It's not us hunting, we've hunted some species to extinction, but it is the way that we develop land. It's how we build houses, it's how we farm our food, it's how we procure our wood. We are the issue. We're going to feel it if we don't turn around. And it's easy to look at these issues. These are huge issues, and they're not ones that any of us can address on our own. And it's like we could give 100% of our money to the cause, and it wouldn't make a difference. We all have to be part of it. We can collectively make the change. And it's not the time to give up. It's the time to lean into it. We still have the species. There are tens of thousands of species, or thousands of species in the Appalachians. There is still clean water coming out of the mountains. We still have stretches of forests that extend impossible distances. And I know that we have to lean into it. And when I think about this, like the one thing that heartens me is that we're good at what we put our mind to. You know, you think about the creature comforts we have. We have reliable electricity. We have stable food supplies. We have sturdy shelter. We're good at the things we put our minds to. We just have to change what we're putting our mind to. We are able to be the solution. We're able to do things in a simple way that make big differences. This is a photo from the Tennessee Aquarium Conservation Institute where they've turned 5 acres into native meadow. I've seen bobcat out there, turkey, I've seen all kinds of species, pollinators. That's 5 acres, but you can do the same thing on a balcony. We need to plant native plants. We need to keep forests as forests and keep prairie as prairie. We need to recognize that we're living as part of nature, not in spite of it. And we need to get to work. We know what we need to protect. We know how to do it. And nature does hold so many of the answers. You know, climate change is a very big issue. Our forests pull 15% of the carbon that we emit every year directly out of the air. 1/6 of the carbon that comes out of our tailpipes and smokestacks gets pulled directly into forests. That's amazing. And the trees and the flowers and leaves, the soil, there's 30 years of our carbon stored in those places. We need to keep forests as forests, keep grasslands as grasslands. And the amazing part is that like our backyard is the place to do this. And that's what's so exciting to me. And thinking about Chattanooga and what an amazing place we have, this is the place we should be protecting. The image shows, it was created by staff at the Nature Conservancy who have created a lot of the science around the intersection between climate and conservation. And it shows this superhighway, this wildlife superhighway that we're at the base of. This shows where species are expected to migrate in response to climate change with the intuitive goal of getting to cooler climes, so northward and higher elevation. We're right at the base of this. We are the on-ramp to the superhighway. Protecting something here does more than just protecting it for us, it's for the Appalachians. This is also a place that is considered a resilient landscape, meaning that it's one that's going to withstand the great change. It's a landscape where these ancient species can survive for another day. It is worthy of protection. Chattanooga, this region, is the gateway. This is also a place where 38 federally recognized tribes and countless others have spiritual and cultural connections to the land. This is a place where communities are stagnant after the mill or mine closed. This is a place where people need jobs and need people to manage the forest. There's an easy connection there. The late great E.O. Wilson, the father of biodiversity, he estimated we need to protect half of the earth so that ecosystems can persist indefinitely. That's half of the earth, 50% land of the earth's land and water, so that we can exist. That's a big number. The Biden administration rolled out 30 by 30 early on. It changed into America the Beautiful. The goal was the same, to protect 30% of the nation's land and water by 2030. That's the kind of stuff we need. That's the kind of work we need. And when you look at this region, which actually enjoys more protected land than a lot of places in the country, we're still at 15%, so we have a long way to go. And so no matter if this is new to you, if some of it's new, if it's all new, maybe you know it all, but regardless of what bucket we're in, we have so much more work to do. But the good thing is we have the science that tells us where we need to protect. We have the tools to do it. We know where to do it. We know how to do it in a way that benefits communities, benefits biodiversity, and benefits the climate. And it's an all-hands-on-deck moment. This is Governor Lee a couple weeks ago at the Conservation Summit. Conservation doesn't follow neat political lines. It's not something that one party is into and the other's not. The people that are in the know what we need to do. And we're at a moment right now where the Tennessee government and the federal government are aligned on something. And like, there's not very much we're aligned on. There's a pretty wide gap there. But we recognize that conservation holds the key to safeguarding communities, to protecting biodiversity, to mitigating climate change. So we need to elect leaders that have a conservation ethic. We need to elect leaders that are willing to get beyond the next news cycle or election, that are willing to do the right thing, not the easy thing. We need leaders that will invest in nature the way that we invest in roads. And we can complain about potholes, but there's a big gap there. This is the time to do it. We need more funding for the work that we do. We need more people doing the work. There are a lot of us doing the work, and so thinking about action items to walk away with. Well, we can elect leaders. We can support organizations and individuals that are doing the work. And looking around here, I see the Southeastern Conservation Corps contingency up front. It's like we need to invest in our youth. We need to invest in the people that are doing this work. We need to invest in education. We need more young people doing this work because unfortunately, they're going to need to be the leaders that we haven't been. We also need to support organizations like the Open Space Institute as we're working to increase the pace and effectiveness of conservation, and we're supporting land trusts big and small to protect the biggest places left, the best places left. We need to support organizations like Thrive Regional Partnership, who are doing the difficult job of bringing together business leaders and conservationists so that we can be sure that we're not missing smart conservation because of smart growth. Thrive is also working with OSI and others to ensure that the benefits of conservation reach all of us, our vulnerable communities as well. It's a worthy cause. We need to support the people in our neighborhoods that are planting native plants, that may be doing no mow May, that may be pushing back on the HOA. I don't know what it looks like, but we know who the people are, and we need to support them. We need to support our watershed groups that are standing by, keeping our water safe. That's all that I have. I appreciate it.